Ladies and gentlemen, from San Diego, California, I have True Blue. To the best of your knowledge, who were some of the gangs that were present in San Diego before Crips and Bloods even came along?
I think they had some shit like Hat Gangs and Cancer Park Banksters. I remember something like that. You had us over there at LTD and Wrecking Crew and what else? Oh, Central City, and I can't think of but Hispanic gangs it was a lot, but yeah, that's about it right there. Okay. And we did have after that interview with you, I talked to my G homie Sid Bull and Big Rome, and we did. I never knew this until I talked to him. They actually started West Coast Mafia December of 1970, and that turned to Crips in 72. But I never even knew that part until I talked to them, because I didn't even know that part. I don't know how I missed it. Some of the other homies knew it, but I didn't even know that part. Yeah, that's about it as far as black gangs right there. But, I'm born in 75, so, you talking, 72, 60, late 60s right there, I'm not sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, by the time I'm about 7 or 8, even if I do fuck with the homies, they're a little older, but, yeah, I guess the gang banging is its own thing. It cut off. Well, I don't know no gangs. It's just the ones I named. That's pretty much all I know. Yeah, now, if you were to ask me in general, I know all the way back, all the way. But San Diego, yeah.
A little history about San Diego, and you mentioned this last time, is, due to San Diego being a mostly conservative city, most of the gangs in SD were pushed to the southeast side, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so San Diego would be like, see, a lot of people don't know, South Central is South Central, but you got all kind of shit around South Central. Or Compton is Compton and Watts is Watts. So San Diego is just that. We just don't got, you got South Central, you got Long Beach, you got all kind of cities in LA County all around, but the heart of it is South Central. You know what I mean? We only got like one little part, and that's Southeast. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all. So there's probably a total, and I'm gonna reach. I'm gonna say 15 black gangs right there in that area, okay. and I'm reaching, and it might not. And I'm just reaching in case of some shit I don't know about them, because it's not even that many. However, that's how San Diego. But you will lose your life. It's just that part though. But you will get off. You know what I mean? I mean, we got a history of all kind of shit going on. But see, what people fail to realize, no matter what hood you from in California, you gonna hit a penitentiary or YA, you gonna hit somewhere. So motherfuckers is out there and motherfuckers is known. That's how you get to know homies and shit from different places too. But San Diego we just pushed in that one little area. Now, as far as Hispanic gangs, they go deep off into the South Bay. You know what I'm saying? They bring around to, East County and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they pretty much more of those gangs than black gangs. And the whole part, like South Bay, really ain't even no black gangs down there. And that's like a whole bottom half of San Diego. Then you got North County, and you got a few, a few gangs, but I would say there's no more than 10, and they in their little structure up there. You know what I'm saying? And that's just Bloods and Crips. But I think the Bloods is Samoans or something up there. I'm not too sure about that. Like, do they have other blood hoods? I've even been there, but I think the Bloods in Oceanside are just basically Samoans.
In all of your years, what's the craziest thing that you've ever seen as an active gang member?
So we had this little building where it was 3 stories, and this motherfucker, this dude that we used to rock our shit up at, he was a cool old school dude, Vietnam vet, always carried a knife on, big old dude. His little bra was in there. But we used to go up in there. That was like a cool, out of all the apartments that we would go up in there. We want to chill, chop our shit up, rock it over there. Hit him with something going, you know, as a cool dude. So one day we was coming over there, and he ran a nigga out the door with the knife in his hand. So this dude, I don't know, somebody did something with his wife or something, I don't know. He ran him all the way around the thing, and then he trapped him in the corner. The dude overran the steps. So this motherfucker just straight up got on the rail and just jumped.
Damn.
3 stories up, right?
Oh, shit.
And this motherfucker, all you heard was, you know, it just like, and that motherfucker jumped up immediately.
Wow.
And ran. And I said, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Because I don't know if he fell somewhere around the corner, he all broke up or what, but that motherfucker got up and ran out the motherfucking apartment like a goddamn cat.
Golly.
I said, damn. Now that shit was crazy to the motherfucker. That was crazy. I'm thinking about the times, you know, when you say 12 and shit, when I was young. That was when I was real young. And I seen another time, this one dude hit this other dude with a golf club. And the little golf club thing came off. That dude got that motherfucker there. I think he definitely killed. I don't even know what happened. But he was hitting dude. Dude had the upper hand, hitting him with that golf club. That motherfucker flew off, and it was over with.
Damn.
The dude that was, yeah, he got his ass. I didn't even stay to the end, but I was young then. So, you know, I've seen shoes and shit too. Different stuff. It's been a lot of going on. 12, 13, see, that was like 87, 88, 89. Yeah. It went pretty hard all the way. Shit. I don't know. Probably about 94, 93, 94. I think the 3 strikes kind of calmed it down a bit.
94 crime bill, all that stuff.
Yeah, but it turned it up a bit too, but it calmed it down a bit too, because a lot of people start leaving and shit, moving out of California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't really remember nothing else when I was that young. It was a lot of shit though. The first time I got shot at, I didn't even know I got shot at.
Oh, really?
Shit, we was just walking down the street, and there was about 6 of us, and you heard a pow, and we walking and shit. Then you heard beep, and a car that was by us. Then you heard it again. And then that's when we put that motherfucker shooting at us, you know what I mean? So we ran. Didn't nobody get hit, fortunately. But they damn, I think it was just some drunk dudes on the porch aiming at us shooting. And I was probably about 12 then. It wasn't no, it was more racial. That was more of a racial thing than a gangbang thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in my neighborhood, it was like the penitentiary. Politics. With Hispanics. Like all my best, just put it this way, all my best friends, down near the 6th grade graduation, that summer after, I've never even seen them to this day. And we lived in the same community. One of them from Logan Heights, Springfield, the other one from Logan Heights, Redstep. Yep, I ain't seen them to this day.
Damn.
And I'm 46 years old.
And you guys were best friends before the streets got a hold of you, right?
Yeah. Spend the night at each other's house, all that, everything. I mean, some of my friends' moms couldn't even speak English. You know what I mean? Yep.
Damn.
Straight Piper moms, yep. But they was always good people, you know. Always. But yeah, that's how our community is. That right there, 6th grade, you didn't see them no more. Shit. My nigga Puma was my boy. I spent the night at his house too. He should be out soon, but he was one of the ones that lived out of the shooting of the Cardinal down there in Mexico. Guadalajara, really.
Okay.
In '93, I think it was '93. Yeah, that's my homie from kids. You know what I mean? Snoopy, he got killed in there. They was the 2 that they got. Snoopy got killed. Snoopy was my boy too. We was in juvenile hall together a lot. But yeah, you grow up with them, but it separates. It separates. It's crazy, man. Because sometimes I think about them and shit.
As an active gang member, what was harder? Jail or prison?
I would say, man, jail.
Okay.
Because the fucking CEOs are so disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of the other dudes ain't never been nowhere to gain and learn that respect that you're supposed to have. You know what I mean? And so it's gonna be more active in there. It's gonna be more active in the county. Yeah, because you got medical heads, you got people coming in with fresh cases. They just knock niggas' heads off. They ain't trying to hear nothing. You know, it'd be more cracking in there. But you know, you can tell a motherfucker, you know, to do something, or not tell them, ask them, they do what they, because you know sometimes you got this upper tier, lower tier. So it's just the whole dynamics in there is stressful. But now I haven't been to the state prison since 07. I was in the county. I got out in 2019. Well, wait, I think it was May. County year would have is like 6 months. I think I got November 2018 to a program, and then I got out 2019, and that's when I came here. So I was in there like 6 months in the county. And before that, I did from basic. This is what I did. I went in. They picked me up, took me to the feds in January 08. I got out of that complete custody May 15, 2015. From 2015, I went back on a violation for like around, I would say that November. No, yeah, it was around that November. It was like 90 days. I got out and went on got another 7-month violation. Got out and I did a 19-month violation, which put me out where I was done with paper and everything, January 2018 with the federal system. You know what I mean? So that's how that went. So added up, I say 10 years, but if you really add it all the way up, it's going to be like 9 years and some change in there that I actually was inside the federal system. But I did, the straight part was from January 2008 to May 2015 is when I wasn't federal property no more.
Okay.
As far as, you know, I became supervised release, which, you know, people don't know we don't have probation. They say it's probation, but really you're just supervised release. You really answer to the judge. They just got these probation officers looking over you, but they'll violate your ass.
If you could put a number on it, how many family and friends have you lost to gangbanging, whether it be prison, death, you know, etc.?
Yeah. Well, like I like to keep history and roll call all my dead homies, but some of my dead homies that I lost was before my time. But it still affects us because we grew up with their kids or their brothers, and you know what I mean? And so it kind of still plays a role, even though they might have been too old when they passed away. But in general, from my hood, I know, shit. I'm just going to just keep it, I'll say 40 to 50 maybe. But it hasn't all been like just gang related. Some of, you know, we've lost people to all kind of things. You know, we even had homies that had babies that passed away, you know, crib death, you know, and, you know, so all that counts to me. You know what I mean? Because it's us, you know what I mean? So we got about 40 or 50, yeah, a lot. But as of lately, in the last, shit, man, like a lot of people have been dying recently in the last year or two, like heart attacks and strokes and you know, out the blue, you know. Yeah, I lost my father this year on January 26th, 2 days before my birthday, to lung cancer. I had a homie fall out in the bank. I had a homie, Abby Dabby. I forgot exactly what happened, but he passed away. I had a homie, Big Snipe, just recently had a stroke or something, went in coma and passed away. I mean, it scared me. This guy worked out everything, you know, been in prison plenty of years, preserved himself, and I'm like, wow, man, that's a message. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Charleston White?
Oh, Charleston White, man, you know, I want to give it to him because, you know, I watched this video and he was in City Hall and he really, you know, he went in on him. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know how we ignorant with everybody else on the street and whatever, but we ain't like that with the system. So, you know, I really appreciate that in him. However, you know, he did real disrespectful. I mean, he digging. I feel for that dude because, you know, I don't wish nothing bad on nobody or nothing, but and it's not like anybody got to do anything to him. He's just bringing that energy to himself, and he thinks that he's a character or whatever, but and it's a game, but it is a game, but the game is life, and it ain't no game. You know what I'm saying? And he's playing a dangerous game. He really does. You know, I understand the shock treatment or whatever when you want to get a message, you know, across like, you know, them holier than thou people, you know what I'm saying? Christians, you know, I got a little saying I like to hit them with. And it's no disrespect to nobody's belief or religious belief. But I always say you wouldn't know if Jesus walked up and smacked the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that gets their attention because now you done put Jesus in this situation where he's smacking, you know. But then I'll just do that for like shock treatment, you know. Then we discuss whatever we discuss. You know what I mean? Whatever it might be, the subject. But anyway, his shock treatment is disrespectful, and he's talking about raping people. He's talking about going to beat up people. Then on the other hand, he back here, you know, got their dick in his mouth. The same white people, you know. So then he pushed the whole state involved in. But I think somebody, it's another dude, positive dude on YouTube. He your crib, OG Percy or something.
Oh yeah.
He's from the same city, and he said that dude can't walk around or nothing. He said that dude ain't shit out there. He perpetrating. You know what I'm saying? And I seen that. This nigga was out fishing with his little daughter or something. He's like, I'm out in the open fishing. He can't do this. You know, he said he's not that. He done told on the whole, he said Southside. I'm not too familiar with that area, but I remember when he said that, I'm like, damn, this dude, you know. But, you know, I hope he get it together. I think he banned. Kind of miss him on here talking shit. It's been about a week or two now. I ain't seen him too much. Also, you know, I felt the nigga because he was with some of the big homies, you know. I mean, I'm from San Diego, but they still Crips, the older homies, when they was at Nipsey's funeral. So, you know, I'm like, okay, he grounded where he's supposed to be, but then he turned around, you know, so I don't know, you know, this is all new to me in the last week or so, all this other shit, you know what I mean? But you know, like I said, you know, I hope he get it together and stay out the way because he needs to.
Streets are no joke right now, especially. Seems like LA is on fire when it comes to just everything, violence and crime and this, you know, gang wars. And but I know you're out of the state right now, but is San Diego seeing the same uptick in all the bullshit we're seeing out here?
Pretty much they just went through a lot right now. Like, but it kind of just, you know, it kind of goes like, you know, the tide comes in, it comes out. So the tide just went back out, but it did come in. It was cracking for a minute from what I knew. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty, you know, we lost a homie and shit. It was a sad situation. This was back in February and shit. And he was a young homie, and I really I don't even know if I was around him when he was younger, but I know I was gone pretty much all of his youth. He was like 20 or 19 when he passed, but they killed him in his sleep. And that was the end of February, and that was a big impact on us and our community, you know. Sad situation, you know what I mean? Well, no, shit. That's impacted me so much. That was over a year ago. I'm tripping. That wasn't even this year. Other than that, yeah. And back to what you were saying, a lot of things happening. Well, I noticed, you know, a lot of these internet, you know, rappers or whatever, they knocking each other off like it's the thing to do.
Man.
You know, and that's the same thing with Mr. White, you know what I'm saying? And then they got the access to this modern day, you know, social media, so they're able to, you know, shit. They could be from city to city nowadays, you know what I mean? And pull right up on them, motherfucker. They could be in Louisville and pull up in New York somewhere, or vice versa, or, you know, so there's so much shit going on.
It sucks because it's just leading to more of our people getting locked up and dying. and before we know it, man, we're gonna turn around. We'll probably be well and gone, you know. But one day there ain't gonna be any of us anymore, man, because they're killing us, we're killing us. I mean,
well, that's interesting to say that, because that's what's been subjected to us for centuries. You see, but we're not disappearing. You know what I mean? We're not disappearing. We built to last. They think that's what the whole thing is. We're not, because after all that we've been through for the past
400 years,
included are self-inflicted. Don't get me wrong. And one reason why it started back in the days right after slavery, we tend to do crime in our community is because our community don't have nobody to ask for help. You know what I mean? So we tend, I'm not saying it's good or nothing, but statistically, we criminalize our own community. But, you know, at the same time, we saving our community and this and that. But we ain't looking at the bigger picture, you know. So that's why it's a lot of crime in our community. And, you know, the number one cause is, you know, oppression and poverty, period. Yeah. And I know when I tend to say our people or whatever, I'm speaking from anybody that's poverty stricken.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or that felt the wrath. True enough that I don't even consider us black men, because I consider us indigenous to this land. We didn't ever even have that little simple ass shit. We came from Africa with some bullshit, but you got people ingrained in that. They indoctrinated, and they ain't gonna never. It is, and I don't debate.
I've been hearing more and more of that. Yeah, that the transatlantic slave trade was a myth, and that we are what the American Indians, you know, quote unquote American Indian, the true American Indian, I should say.
Yeah, and even when USSR open, I mean, they wasn't communists no more. And they finally made it over there on that side of the continent. Remember, they've been coming across the Bering Strait for all those years. Mm-hmm. You know, when the Ice Age was there, they said that's how people migrated here. So when they went over there, they found no connection. Period. Nothing. It's called the clover. The clover. They found no clover or arrows or nothing on that side. So that was a bunch of bullshit anyway.
What trips me out is we could find a dinosaur bone from 8 million years ago. We could find a fucking pterodactyl tooth from 2 million years ago, but we can't find one relic of a slave ship from 400 years ago. 400, we can't find nothing. Not a paddle, not a fucking plank, nothing, no maps.
But what you can find is these sorry ass Africans over there telling them bogus ass stories. Mm-hmm. But if you really go into, it was on West Africa, it was known to have been said that some of the people over there said they was not from there. They were brought there. They was in a land they never, you know what I mean? And that was basically what they labeled, you know, the copper-colored people when they landed. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, they start shipping. You know, that's Pocahontas' story too. She went back there with a white dude or something and died. But that's the whole thing. It never was the other way around.
Yeah. And you got it. 12.5 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, right? Yeah, I like that's what type of stuff I like to you know, read about, and even on YouTube, anything. Shit, mm-hmm. I always like to gain knowledge. You know, that's what I would like for our youth to do, because once you know, because I was ignorant, you know, mm-hmm. I could be ignorant to this day, but I know once they know, then they shift just like I did. Mm. You know what I mean? Just like everybody else did. Anybody you know from any hood that just say they got a life and they legends from their hood or whatever, and you see them behind them walls, they in there getting sharp, and they trying to sharpen you. And they ain't stopped. They in law library. They doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? And to see that, you know what I'm saying? And to know, like even Tookie at his max before they killed him, he still sent a positive message. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Children's books, you know, and all, yeah.
So if some kind of way they get ahead of it, because, you know, as much as they're doing, they're going to end up in that place anyway, mm-hmm. doing the life thing, and then they're going to evolve into what we're already trying to tell them to be. You know what I mean? So yeah. it's like a catch-22, because shit, it's hard out there sometimes when you feel like you got to do it all by yourself. You know what I mean?
I know you're working on your YouTube channel. Talk to me about what your inspiration is and where your direction is going with yours.
Well, I didn't really know nothing about it, and I actually we got in contact with each other, and then I did that interview with you. So I was like, damn, maybe you know what I mean? It kind of, make me study it from a different angle. Like maybe I could get a pay. So that kind of inspired me for the interview with you. And I feel like I just would like to share my story, document it. I got it already documented through the courts and everything. I always be thinking when I'm dead and gone, I would just want to leave my footprints, So I'm more of a capturing things, with this. However, the other side of it, I do like the community. I'm starting to learn. I didn't really know nothing, like I said, until I started actually following under you, and I linked from you to other people to see what's going on. You know what I mean? But I did watch Kev Mac videos. It's pretty much you and him. You know what I mean? And now I found there's a prison genre. This, da. Yeah. So I'm trying to just figure just to stay in my lane, just to build. And if I go any further after that, then I do. But my lane, I'm probably going to like write some tabs down or something and put certain stories down and just at will when I film that week or whatever, probably a story a week, and pull one out, and, and whatever the story is, just, just share it, That's what I'm going to start doing, just until I get used to the recording. And because some of my film I got on there now, I could barely hear, but I'm getting used to it.
Thank you for tuning in to Dusty Vision TV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. We left off on you getting jumped in. The homies were embracing you, pouring beer down your throat, trying to get the swelling down in your face. You ended the episode with a very powerful statement. You said that was the beginning of the end for me. Please break that down and continue.
So the beginning of the end, right? It was the end of the person that my mother had raised, the child that she had raised. And it was the beginning of a monster, the monster that was created in the Pueblo Del Rio housing project. I underwent a transformation that my mother didn't catch, my father didn't catch, my grandmother didn't catch. They didn't see the subtle changes in me and my behavior and my habits. By the time they did, I was already incarcerated for the first time. And some of those changes included the times that I was coming in and out of the house, right? I had a curfew, right? When I would be in the projects, I was expected to come in no later than 9 o'clock, and I did. And no sooner than my grandmother went to sleep, I'd be right back out the door. And sometimes she would come down and she would see that I wasn't on the couch, right? That I was gone. She knows I'm nowhere in her house, right? So she would lock the door because I didn't have a key yet.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And I would come back after a night of running the streets at, 1, 2 in the morning and throw rocks at my uncle's window. And he would come down and let me in, right? Instead of taking firm action when they found out that this is what I was doing, that my hours had changed, that now I was becoming a night owl, a nighttime creature, running around in the project, doing who knows what. Instead of bringing down the hammer on me, I was given a house key, a door key, so that I would stop throwing rocks at my uncle's window and waking him up in the middle of the night to come down and open the door. Once I got the door key, it was a wrap.
Damn. Around what year was this?
I was about 13 years old at the time, so it was 92. Yeah, that was like 92.
92. Very interesting time.
Yeah. Yeah, this was on the heels of the LA uprising.
Exactly.
Also known as the LA riots. You know, a lot was going on. It was a festive spirit, a rebellious spirit in the air. The gangs were having ceasefires. I'm not going to say a truce, but ceasefires between certain gangs. There was a lot of attention diverted from this gang against that gang, and that attention was turned and put on the LAPD and the LA sheriffs. The gangs were talking about, let's not watch each other, let's watch them. And it all went hand in hand with records like NWA's F the Police and other socially conscious records as the backdrop to this whole movement. And here I am, a 13-year-old kid out here in the projects with grown men, you know, ranging from, you know, 12 years old to 40 years old, you know, in the smoke.
92. What were your personal experiences with the police around this time?
Well, I got picked up by the LAPD for the first time at 13, right? Hanging out on the block, 54th and Duarte, LAPD doing a regular crash unit, doing their regular thing, Tuesdays and Thursday nights. They picked me up with a handful of my homeboys, right? Threw us all in the backseat of the police cars and took us down to the old Newton Division when it was downtown by the Coca-Cola plant, right? And so they threw me in the cell. And I remember the cops kept looking at me like, damn, this was a little one right here. Like, you're the littlest one in the bunch. What the hell are you doing out here? You know what I mean? And I remember they had a guy named Lieutenant Grimes. He was a kick-ass police officer in his day, and by this time he had become a lieutenant and was close to retirement, right? So Grimes pulled me out, took me into this little room. He opened up this huge photo album, and he kept turning the pages, and I noticed that it was all Polaroid pictures, right? And I could see the gang and the gang name written on the white part, the white tab of the Polaroid pictures. And so they had me take a Polaroid, and he put me in the book. And I asked him, what is that? He said, this is the gang book for Newton Division, right? And jokingly, decades later, I look back and say, that was the original Facebook. That was my first time on Facebook, going inside the gang book.
You know, I've heard stories like that, also stories of, you know, how now everything is on the internet. Everything is just out there. Everybody's banging on the internet and everything. But, you know, back then to even take a picture, you know, with your gang and things like that, there were some OGs who didn't like that because of these reasons, that you're automatically labeled as a gang member. What do you remember about that time? You know, the 1990s social media, and I put social media in quotes, obviously, but taking pictures and all that stuff, was that frowned upon? Was it cool? You know, talk to me about that.
I mean, the only time we really took pictures or anything was at funerals, occasionally at a function, occasionally, but mostly at like funerals. In the aftermath of the funeral, we all get together, take group pictures and, you know, things of that nature. But it wasn't the selfie culture that we know today. Those pictures weren't meant for public. Those pictures were private. Those pictures were always put away in one of the homegirls' photo albums or on somebody's wall in their bedroom. Those weren't meant to be seen by the public because, like you say, it identified you as...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So no, that wasn't a thing for us like that. There's only maybe a dozen or so photos of me throughout my whole gang career when I was in the streets banging. I didn't take a lot of pictures. I didn't like taking pictures. It wasn't something that was like, you know, let me jump in this picture with these people or with this guy or with, nah. That was something like sacred. Like, you know, when I didn't take pictures, we didn't take pictures with anybody. people that I was in those pictures with was people that I knew, that I loved, that I grew up with. These were my guys. And that's the only reason we're in the picture together. No busting. You know what I mean? We didn't do that.
Dr. Umar Johnson recently said that Eminem can't be considered the greatest rapper of all time because Eminem is white and rap was created by black people. Does that mean that Tiger Woods can't be the greatest golfer in the world because golf was invented by a white person? Does that mean that Kobe Bryant can't be the greatest basketball player of all time because basketball was invented by a white person? Does that mean that Barry Bonds can't be the greatest baseball player of all time because baseball was invented by a white person? I'm confused, Dr. Umar. Help me understand your logic. Eminem is not only the greatest white rapper in the history of rap music, he is arguably the greatest MC to ever touch a mic. And respectfully, Dr. Umar, who are you to even give your opinion on hip-hop? And are you even a real doctor? You're probably no more of a doctor than Dr. Dre is. I don't know what you do in the black community. I've heard your name, obviously, but whatever it is you do, stick to that. Stay out of the hip-hop lane. For you to say that Eminem can't be considered the greatest rapper of all time because he's white is one of the most ignorant things I've ever heard in my life in regards to hip-hop. And I've heard this argument before, but it's usually from people who don't like Eminem. I don't care if you don't like Eminem. Anyone who says he isn't one of the greatest to ever do it is just lying to themselves. I remember when Eminem first came out. I had never heard anything like it as a hip-hop fan at that point. I knew about Eminem when he was still going by Slim Shady and battling on Sway and Tech and The Wake Up Show.
Met a kid named Greg with a wooden leg. Snatched it off and beat him over the head with the peg. Go to bed with the keg. Wake up with the 40. Mix it without the cells to be Formula 44D.
I remember hearing this flow one night, way before Hi, My Name Is came out. And I remember thinking, who the hell is this kid with this magical, fantastic wordplay?
No more sad case closed in a discussion. We blowing up like spontaneous human combustion. Leaving you in the aftermath of Holocaust and traumas. Across the bombers, we blowing up the house, killing your parents, coming back to get your foster mamas.
Shortly after, the world was introduced to Eminem, thanks to Dr. Dre. I can't stand people who make it all about race. If you're good, you're good. And Eminem is not only good, Eminem is great. Eminem is way better than a lot of the black rappers you put in your so-called top 10 lists. Eminem at his prime, and probably still today, would lyrically eat them alive. Anyone who thinks different doesn't know hip-hop or is just an Eminem hater. Or both. But to deny someone their GOAT status simply because they have less melanin in their body is ridiculous. Dr. Umar, you are ridiculous for this statement. Like I said earlier, I don't know what it is you do in the black community, but whatever it is, stick to that. Leave the hip-hop to people who actually know what they're talking about. So you said he just looked authentic, like he was from the land. What were some of the things that Ali maybe have told you guys you were doing not necessarily wrong, but different, than LA? Was he dropping gems on you about the motherland and all that? And by the motherland, I obviously mean Los Angeles.
Yes. Yeah. Ali was the first guy that I met from Los Angeles. And he definitely dropped some gems, man, to me. And explained to me explained to me the culture, because I was one of the guys back out there in Bryan, where I'm from, that was you know moving a little bit rowdy at that time. And to be honest with you, I was moving that way for no reason. I didn't have to. And so when I met Ali was one of those brothers that sat me down, talked to me, educated me about how things really go, and how it does go. And it's like it's principles behind this here. It's rules and regulations. So it's a certain way that you move. You know what I mean? So it's just having that understanding. As a man, as a man, 101. Just, hey, bro. It's just he was one of those ones coming, like keeping us calm, letting us know, hey, bro. It's how should I put it? He brought the unity. He brought the unity to my little crew. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I see him as being someone, even back then, who would, do something like that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, because, like in school, he was very educated, very smart. Because a lot of the things that we was learning back in our high school, he had already learned like 3 years ago back in Los Angeles, because they're very fast paced. So, it was like he kind of educated us, tutored us a little bit, showed us a little something. And then it was like whenever we moved a certain type of way, kind of like, hey, look, bro, check this out, man. This how it go, this how it is, blah, 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 whatever. Because being from Texas, we do things a little bit different. And, like I said, meeting in LA, me and him, we paired up, and, it was very interesting. He left a great impression on me and my people, man. And, I love the brother, man. I love the knowledge that he has given us over the years, and given me over the years, man. I mean, because being honest with you, Ali is a great reason why I've actually been able to stay out of prison. To be honest with you. Yeah, just to be honest with you, man. I really appreciate that brother. He has a lot of knowledge over his head, man, and he's always been that way. And to be honest with you, when I first found out that he was in prison, I couldn't believe it. Wow. I couldn't believe it, because what you don't know is it's like that was not the guy in school. Like, that wasn't him. We were trying to be like those guys in LA, and when he came to Bryan, man, he was so chill. Like, he was really chill. He was cool. He was enjoying the scenery. I mean, because, out there, we got like horses, cows, and, we have trail rides. We have different types of things, and he was just loving it. And, us, we were more kind of looking for it, and he was like, oh, nah, bro, like, nah, man, out here, like, nah, bro, I'm loving it, man. Like, it was real cool, man. And I think he had fun, and I really hate that, I really hate that sometimes we become a product of our environment, and a lot of people really don't get a chance to see who we really are, because we've never been given the opportunity outside of our environment, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does, dog. And if you know anything about LA, we don't see cows and horses just on an open range. I mean, we get excited if we see a damn grasshopper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real?
I'm not even joking, man. It's unfortunately, and a lot of people, it's like that. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people who live in Los Angeles, man, and they live, we live 15 miles from a beach, and a lot of kids in the inner city and the hood have never set foot in sand. Like, it's different. So I say that because I can understand that Ali would love it out there. You know what I'm saying? Just coming from an environment where, for the most part, all you see are either four walls in your room, and then, whatever you see outside in the projects. And that's this crazy situation.
Yeah, it is, man. Like, I mean, because like I've been in Texas, my whole life. And, so like me, I never really knew and understood like where he was coming from. Because like I said, I've been here. It's to me, like my father is from a little small country town. The population is a little over 500. like right now in 2023. It's a little over 500. So on the way to my grandma and grandpa's house, you know, you see like cotton fields, corn fields, wheat fields, you know, things of that nature.
Yeah, we
y'all don't
that.
see that.
We see liquor store, gun store. We see a pigeon. We see a palm tree. We do have nice palm trees out here. But other than that, yeah, not too much nature, unfortunately, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, we see a lot of livestock and vegetation. I mean, you know, so it's just, it was crazy. But don't get me wrong now, in the inner city, you know, it's still country-like, but it's nothing like LA.
Yeah. And I say that to say, you know, people out there in the inner city, take chances, go places, man. Visit different towns, visit different states, visit different countries. The world is so big, man. Do not confine yourself to, you know, a 2-block radius. You know, go out and venture out, because it could change your life. You could fall in love with somebody. You could learn a language. You can learn about food. I mean, just go venture out, man. There is a positivity to traveling outside of the hood.
Yeah, it is, man. Like, we have all kinds of stuff, like in the country, man. Like, we have Chili Fest, you know, out there. You know, like I said, the big thing is the trail rides. That's a huge thing, though, the trail rides. You know, the Chili Fest is more for, you know, it's for everybody, but you know, it's more for like the Caucasian people. But you know, like us, we do like the trail rides and things of that nature.
What's the trail rides? Tell us about what happens on the trail. I need to know.
Oh man, trail rides is like it's just, you know, it's like we're like the black cowboys. You know what I'm saying? You know, they go out there with, you know, the hats and the belt buckles, the boots. You know, they do the line dances. You know, have horses and things. Oh man, say it's the trail rides. If you ain't never been to a trail ride in Texas, man, hey man, you're missing out. That's what it is. I don't necessarily do the trail riding thing, but a lot of my family do the trail riding, and it's fun. A lot of beautiful ladies out there, man. You know, they Texas thick. You know what it is. So they do the line dances and things like that. A lot of great food. Texas got a lot of great barbecue. So, you know, it's a lot of barbecuing out there. Man, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun out there, man. You know, they have horses and stuff too. They have some of them. They have like livestock rodeos before the trail riding, and you know what that is you can go there and you can actually purchase some of the livestock.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool little gig.
Yeah, man, I love that small country town living, dude, especially being from LA. It's nice to slow down a little bit. A 21-year-old black Dallas woman was shot to death, allegedly over the results of a basketball game. The victim's family says the shooter was a friend who was humiliated and embarrassed that he lost, so he decided to take her life. A couple of days ago, the local news gave it a whole 56 seconds of news coverage. Wow. Thanks. A 21-year-old black female was shot because she beat a dude in a basketball game. If this were a white man who shot a black female over a basketball game, this would be the #1 story in the country right now. And there would be riots, peaceful protests going on right now. The streets of Dallas would be on fire. We'd be stealing Nikes from the local Big Five in honor of this woman. We'd be burning down businesses who had nothing to do with it in honor of this black woman. Jesse Jackson's goofy ass and Al Sharpton's race-baiting ass would be down in Dallas right now condemning these actions. Jesse Jackson would be like, oh, wait, what happened? Somebody got shot in Dallas? Oh, was it by a white man? Okay, it was by a white man. All right, cool. Well, I'll be there in give me about 2-3 hours. Wait, they paying me, right? Yup, they paying me. Did they get my basic fee of $500,000? They paying me, right? Okay, cool. They paying me. I'm gonna be in Dallas. I'll tell them I'll be there in 3 hours, and we gonna handle this white man who did this to this beautiful black sister. That would be Jesse Jackson, and Al Sharpton would be like, because he's always a little bit late to the party because he had to stop and get some food or something. But, oh yeah, heard about what that happened down there in Dallas. Y'all need me to come down there and speak? Yes, Mr. Sharpton, can you please come down there and speak? I'll be there in the morning. I have no problem being there in the morning. Wait, y'all paying me, right? Y'all can cover the cover? I'll be there. Can y'all make sure y'all set me up in a nice hotel? Because last time y'all put me up in the Sheraton, and I was like, oh, I'm a little bit more important than the Sheraton. But I'll be there. That would be Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton's race baiting asses down there. But no, since it's a black man who did it to a black woman, nothing to see here. Carry on. I said carry on. Maybe they just think it's expected of us. Maybe we just think it's expected of us. Because no one out there seems to be upset about this. This is a heartbreaking story, and it should be the headline of every newscast. Every black podcast with a big audience should be talking about it. Every black billionaire, celebrity should be on their social media right now fighting so that something like this never happens again. But no. Please don't scream Black Lives Matter to me if this story doesn't upset you. The person who shot this sister over a basketball game, it's taken everything in me during this recording to not call him every dirty name in the book. Because he deserves that and more. But what I'm a little bit more concerned with are the people, you, who allow this to be nothing more than a 30-second news story on your local TV station. Shame on you. And if you are a black YouTuber or a black podcaster with a decent-sized reach, a decent-sized audience, shame on you if you discussed Kanye West's recent shenanigans on your show, but you didn't mention this 21-year-old black female who was shot by a black man because she beat him in a pickup basketball game. Shame on you if you've done videos about what Charleston White said or did on his last live or whatever the fuck, but you didn't mention this 21-year-old black female who was shot by a black man because she beat him in a pickup basketball game. You YouTubers are over here more concerned about what Whack 100 is doing on Clubhouse than you are the killing of your own people. And you wonder why they don't care. How do you expect them, white folks, to care about black lives when it's clear as day that we don't?
Just before his trial was about to begin, a Dallas man signed a plea deal for the 2022 murder of a woman over an argument at a pickup basketball game she had just apparently won. Asia Womack's mother says she knew a deal may happen, but calls the sentence a slap in the face. Her daughter's killer will spend 20 years in prison for the crime. She will meet him face to face in court later this week. Fox 4's Amelia Jones live in Dallas with the story. Amelia.
Steve, Cameron Hogg's trial was set to begin tomorrow. Instead, he'll be starting his prison sentence for admitting to killing Asia Womack back in October of 2022. Court documents say Womack left the park, but when she and a friend were sitting outside to watch football a short distance from the park, Hogg drove up and got out without saying a word. Police say he shot her twice in the chest, and then as she was falling, he shot 2 more times. Then left. The trial for 32-year-old Hogg was set to begin this week, and Womack was ready for the jury to decide his fate. But that day will never come. On Monday, Hogg took a plea from the Dallas County DA. He pleaded guilty to murder and will be sentenced to 20 years in prison, a term on the very low end of the range for punishment.
It's a slap in the face because it's pretty much saying that Asia's life was only worth 20 years. That's basically what they're saying.
Trump and radio legend Charlemagne the God have been going back and forth. Charlemagne was on a Fox show recently that is hosted by Laura Trump, the daughter-in-law of, yes, you guessed it, genius, Donald Trump. Some of the comments Charlemagne the God said got the president's panties all in a bunch. Here is Charlemagne the God sharing his thoughts on how he feels Donald Trump is doing so far.
How do you rate his presidency so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating,
Why not?
Simply because, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like, the big, beautiful bill, that's something that, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, anything that, takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, they were previously in, I'm not for. And, he ran on that. Like he ran on, the economy. He ran on saying that, grocery prices are going to be down and,
That has happened.
Has it? Have grocery prices gone down? Let's take that right there because I'm not convinced. My wife and I keep very close look at our finances, as anyone should, right? As any responsible person should. Every week, my wife and I go to the grocery store, Trader Joe's specifically, all organic, baby, come on. And we have a general idea of how much our tab is going to be once the lady is done ringing our tab and talking our ear off. Oh my God, if you've never been to Trader Joe's, like less talking, more packing, please. Can we, you don't really care how my day is going, all right? I like to throw them off every once in a while. Well, what are you guys doing today? Cat funeral? Then it gets silent. You ever silenced the Trader Joe's? I have. But anyway, I've been keeping close tab of my grocery bill every week, and it's usually right around the same. It's usually around the 140 to 150 a week. It's been like that for the past year and a half, 2 years. Have grocery prices really gone down is what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not convinced. They haven't really gone up in the past 6 months. So I guess, what's the only other direction is down, but I don't know. I think grocery prices are about even to what they were a year or 2 years ago. Yeah, we had the egg thing, but we have shortages like that all the time. That's nothing new. So did he bring the egg prices down? I guess technically, but did he bring groceries down? I'm not convinced.
And
That has happened.
No.
Inflation is trending down. And by the way, Medicaid, we want to make sure that people who are not actual recipients or shouldn't be getting Medicaid are off of Medicaid so it can actually benefit more people.
That I agree with. Bunch of ding-dongs out there abusing the system, making it bad for people who really need it. Oh, I see a lot of you, especially in my community. Let's keep it real. So the Medicaid thing, if you deserve it, I think you should still get it. If you don't deserve it, I don't think you should get it. There's too many people living off the government. Government can't be baby daddy for the rest of your life, all right? If you have 2 legs, a heartbeat, somewhat mental, you can wake up every day, you can go to work for the most part. Are there people out there who can't? Yes. Will this big, beautiful bullshit bill affect people? And I call it bullshit because what I've read, I'm not convinced that it's really going to help out people in the lower class.